New week, welcome to the marketplace. My name is Darryl Kwao. Coming up this afternoon, Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta rules out new taxes in his media budget presentation this Thursday. Aviation sector facing huge debts amid the COVID-19 pandemic. The sector minister speaks exclusively to us on the current challenges. Our local pharmaceutical firm Intravenous Infusion set to venture into other West African markets thanks to government stimulus package. My name is Darryl Kwao. Thanks for being with us. Details right after this break. Welcome back to the marketplace. We begin with this week's most important program so far as the economy is concerned. That's got to do with the media presentation. And the Finance Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, has ruled out introducing new taxes and increasing existing rates in that presentation this Thursday. This is despite current challenges with revenue mobilization as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. He has been speaking with my colleague George Afe ahead of the presentation.
Certainly, you don't sort of kick a man when a man is down. So it can be an area that we are going to increase any taxes. Compliance will certainly continue, but even still there will be forbearance to give people time to meet that. I think we need to look at the area of digital space as to what we may want to do to encourage more usage or to reduce the cost of usage for that. So that's still under consideration.
No, but when I hear a supplementary budget and some are saying that in an election year,
we're going to spend more, and the question is whether you trust that we will allocate the money into productive generating areas. And my suspicion is that if you speak to industry, they will want to see that type of injection. And it's up to you and Ghanaians to judge what we have done in these 3.5 years, whether we are profligate or not. But I think we have accorded ourselves quite well. So I wouldn't worry. Expenditures would not be because of elections. It will be because we need a recovery, we need a stimulus, we need security. We may have to make sure that there's food for everyone. Those really will be the driving issues for me.
The Finance Minister there ruling out new taxes, but then again saying that government hopes to spend more because of the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. He also indicated it may take the country up to 3 years to recover from the impact of the pandemic. But economist Professor Godfrey Bokwing is certain it would take more than 3 years for economic recovery. The Finance Minister, in his media budget presentation, is expected to table economic recovery measures. Now, speaking to Inshirado on the Joy Prime Morning Show, Professor Bokwing highlighted the challenges ahead.
My own estimation is going to take us more than 3 years. It's going to. And a good way to understand that is to look at the statement the Finance Ministry made on the 30th of March, where they talked about growth decelerating to about 2.5% or 1.5% given a worst scenario with the partial lockdown. And that has been reviewed. That has been revised downwards again. So I think that, of course, I do not have all the data as they would, but from where I sit, I think we are looking at beyond 3 years. Okay. And the reason is simple. If you look at the immune system of the economy, it's not that strong. So we may not be able to have the kind of recovery that other countries should be able to do, also because we don't have the fiscal space. Now, if you look at the various stimulus arrangements, they haven't been that deep. If you look at the revenue envelope, it hasn't expanded that much. Expenditure remains elevated. The real effect of all the interventions we have done will begin to show in the next couple of years in terms of the debt buildup. And once you are not generating enough revenue to be able to even cover your compensation of employees and interest payment, it leaves you with very little to be able to finance the recovery. Yeah. That is our challenge right now. So I think realistically, we should be looking at beyond 3 years. You see, Inshira, the reality is that when you have growth decelerating from 6.8% to let's say 0.9%, it tells you that you're going to require less input to produce less output. Okay, less input in terms of labor, in terms of capital, and all of that. But when you also see output decelerating sharply like that, it also translates to income losses.
Now,
okay? It translates to other sectors of the economy as well.
Right.
Some setback for government in relation to a 6-year bond sale. It failed to raise the projected amount of 800 million cedis, and the following report analyzes how this development could impact on government's finances.
Based on government bond auction calendar from June to August this year, it was hoping to raise 800 million cedis, but as at the end of auction sales on Thursday, July 16, it only secured 359 million cedis. For those investors that bought into the bond, they will be paid an interest of 19.5%, which could be described as not too bad. But for some, the funds raised could be described as interesting. This is because of its impact on government finances, as it's planning to use funds raised to meet its expenses and also pay off maturing bonds. So what happens now that they've not been able to secure the entire funds? Why couldn't government raise all these funds? Could it be due to development in the economy or due to the COVID-19 pandemic, which has made the attraction of offshore funds very difficult? Again, what would have happened to the remaining bonds yet to be issued? One can talk about the upcoming 10-year paper and 20-year bond. Government, through its book building approach, is planning to raise some 17.8 billion cedis through bonds and securities from June to August this year.
Now, the country's aviation sector is broke and could struggle to meet its debt obligations as well as ongoing expansion projects. That's according to Aviation Minister Joseph Kofi Adda. He says this is due to the negative impact of COVID-19 on the sector. Mr. Adda tells Joy Business it is a challenging situation.
As a result of governments wanting to limit the adverse impact of the virus on its citizens, we've been compelled to close down airports. The airports in Ghana, particularly the international airport, Kotoka International Airport, has also been shut down. And this has adversely impacted on all of the players in the aviation sector.
Is the aviation sector in Ghana broke?
With COVID, yes, everybody's broke. Aviation sector is broke, industry is broke, service area is broke. Maybe the media side is the one not broke. It's not broke because they're sharing information. Information is free, it's out there, they're picking on the airwaves. And I don't know if you're giving discounts to people who are advertising on your programs, but I think you're the only ones perhaps who are not really broke. But seriously speaking, yes, we are broke as every other aspect of the economy is affected. But what I can say is that Ghana was doing remarkably well in the aviation sector. As you mentioned, some of our passenger numbers went up from about 2.6 million all the way to 3 million. I think when we ended last year, we were about 3,019,000 passengers. That's really remarkable. And we're hoping that this year we'll perhaps be inching our way, if not to 5 million, 4 million. So we're rapidly going, and all the other ideas that we had, all the other initiatives the president has given his blessing to, to make this aviation hub, were things that we're hoping we'll be able to get more people to come to Ghana.
Well, do catch the full interview with the aviation minister on the special edition of Business Live. My colleague Charles Aite will be asking the minister all the pertinent questions about the sector. That is at 5 p.m. today on Business Live. Let's move on to other stories. A local pharmaceutical company, Intravenous Infusions, has told Joy Business that the company has completed the processes to venture into other West African countries. According to the board chairman, Isaac Osei, the company has been able to acquire equipment from a $3.2 million stimulus package from government. He says the facility couldn't have come at a better time as it would help in the company's expansion drive.
The government is backing us, paying part of the interest, not just us, but all the manufacturers who have accessed this thing. I think it's part of the overall industrial strategy of government to ensure that in spite of the difficulties that we face, especially access to finance and the cost of finance, this is one strategy government has used successfully to assist manufacturers. And we are benefiting from it to the tune of what, $3.2 million US. And we are bringing in new equipment. If perchance you find yourself in Kufuor, some of the equipment has already come in, and we are now making arrangements to install them, which will enhance our production capacity and productivity. So I think the government, in that sense, has done extremely well to support not just intravenous, but also several other industries who have benefited from it. And people know, that intravenous is the major industry in the Eastern Regional Capital area. So anything negative which happens to intravenous will adversely affect the people there. Even we have 160, 170 permanent employees, and there are other casuals coming in. The transporters depend on us. We work with Ghana Post to move some of our products, and in that sense, supporting another government institution. So intravenous is like a community company, just there at Efijase, not in Kufuor, but in Efijase, and providing employment and other externalities to the people in the area.
Now, 90 former employees of Coca-Cola Bottling Company in Ghana filed a complaint against the company at the National Labour Commission. They are asking the commission to compel their employers to pay them a 3-month redundancy package. They allege the beverage firm forced them to resign without paying their compensation. Isaac Mensah is one of the workers affected. He joins me to shed more light on the issue. It's good to have you on the marketplace. So tell us, first of all, why you were laid off and what were the terms of your contract in the event that you were laid off?
Well, thank you very much. What actually happened was that, by the terms of, contract, we are binded by the CBA. Now, management decided to circumvent the CBA. So what they did was, they look at a session and then 20 people will be asked to go away without invoking the CBA. Now they did this, they started this sort of thing as far back as 2017. And my brother, people are in the house, people are dying as a result of the meager monies that have been paid to them. So we decided, that we need to get these, our monies back. Okay. So we had to go to the Labour Commission as a first step.
I believe that before...
I can assure you, we are ready.
I believe that before you went to the Labour Commission, you were engaging Coca-Cola on your packages. Did they explain why they haven't paid your 3-month redundancy package?
Unfortunately, we wrote to the MD and he referred us to the company lawyer. And when we went to the company lawyer, he didn't even listen to us. He spoke to our lawyer, and that's about it. I personally even wrote a mail and copied the MD asking that we need to, look at this. And the mail has not been responded to. Basically, we all know that, courtesy demands that somebody writes you a mail. You even respond, but nothing has been done. So we were forced to, and in our mail, we stated that we'll be forced to take it beyond, Coca-Cola.
And you've taken it to the National Labour Commission. What specific requests are you making? Oh,
all that we are asking for is for people people to be paid using the CBA, because the company came out with something that they call golden handshake, which is never in the CBA, which we are aware they never consulted the labor union to, renegotiate. Even if the finances of the company is bad, you need to renegotiate. Yes, but there was nothing like that. They came out with something called golden handshake. And unfortunately, the shake wasn't golden. So people are dying in the house.
Okay. Any indication how soon you're going to be hearing from the Labour Commission?
Well, the Labour Commission has written to the company and has given them 14 days to respond. And therefore, we'll wait patiently for them to respond. And then probably we'll meet and then see the way forward. But I think, people are dying. A multinational like Coca-Cola should not treat its workers like that. Some have worked for almost 20 years, 20 plus years, and you can't imagine. Even salaries that were supposed to be paid to the workers, which Austin Game has reviewed, had not been done. So you can just imagine that it's just greatest as gold, but it's never gold.
All the best as you try and work out your redundancy package. Thank you very much for joining us. That was Isaac Mensah. He is a former employee of Coca-Cola Bottling Company Limited here in Ghana. Now, Stanbic Bank CEO Alhassan Andani has indicated that the COVID-19 pandemic has proven the bank made the right investment in its digital platform some 3 years ago. Engaging staff and some customers in the breakfast meeting, the CEO asserted that online banking has gained traction, especially now.
In a virtual engagement with staff and some customers of Stanbic Bank, the CEO, Alhassan Andani, said they foresaw the future of banking 3 years ago and made the right investments.
The situation that Stanbic found ourselves, we saw the future rushing at us, and we ourselves had to embrace the future. So I've heard a lot of COVID. COVID was only from January, and we are only now in July. So all of the investments to get into the future, us clearly see the future rushing at us, and also seeing our clients wanting to get into the future, to get us into a digital service bank started long ago.
The head of personal and business banking, Nana Jomo Bene, assured customers of their safety online in the midst of increasing cybersecurity threats.
At Stanbic Bank, when we started this journey, a significant amount of our investment has gone into providing the security protocols that we need to back these digital platforms that we've introduced.
He further stated that Stanbic Bank has recorded over 100% in digital banking due to the impact of COVID-19.
We've seen like 100% increase in terms of the usage of our digital channels. In some of the digital channels, we've even seen more than 100% usage in terms of that as well. We also had a number of customers who had hitherto signed on to the digital channels, but were not really using it. So post-COVID, a number of customers called in for their passwords to be reset so that they can start to use those channels again.
Some customers who took part in the virtual Zoom meeting shared their Stanbic experience.
Stanbic payment platform has been hooked onto our ERP system, and this allows us to be able to run payments directly from our ERP system into Stanbic. This is seamless and it comes with no manual intervention.
Fred Duho reporting for Joy Business.
And finally, this afternoon, the National Petroleum Authority has started the pilot distribution of cylinders under the Cylinder Recirculation Module Initiative in the Yendi municipality in the northern region. This brings to 5 the pilot programs undertaken by the authority so far. Martina Bugri has more in this report.
Speaking at the launch of the FAID pilot program of the cylinder recirculation model in Yendi, Chief Executive Officer of the NPA, Alhassan Tampuli, said the choice of Yendi for the pilot program was because of its strategic position and the link to several districts in the northern region.
The choice of Yendi in this environment to pilot this CRM initiative by His Excellency the President of the Republic's government was as a result of good control and traceability of cylinders, active refilling outlets, passengers with consistent LPG sales over the last assessment period and the multiplicity of LPG marketing companies here in Yendi. I need to also remind you that Yendi is the gateway to the Eastern Corridor. Now, it's through Yendi that you get to Bimbila, Wunensi, Bandai. You get to Zamzumu, Tatami, you get to Saboba, you get to Cheripani, you get to Bushegu, you get to Garega as well. So the position of Yendi makes it even more imperative that we do a pilot program here in order for us to be able to reach out to all these connecting districts and municipalities in the Eastern Corridor.
The chairman of the pilot committee, Kweku Ajimandria, said it will create jobs and called on the people to take advantage.
The CRM will really create jobs. As we are coming, we see a lot of useful people around. And we have to look at, as we do the phases in Yendi, what I would like to employ everybody is that don't sit back. Just identify the opportunities in the process and grab them. Don't go and sit somewhere and say that there's nothing in CRM. You know, but we recognize that there are a lot of jobs which people can easily grab. And I believe that in Yendi, you will give us the option of seeing that we grab the jobs without sitting behind.
The municipal chief executive for Yendi municipality, Alhaji Ahmed Abubakar Yusuf, urged women in the charcoal business to see the program as an opportunity.
The charcoal seller or the firewood seller may think the business is going to collapse. That is not so. Rather, a very big opportunity is now open to you, the charcoal seller and the firewood seller. A very safe opportunity. You will no longer go to the bush to cut the trees at the risk of wild animals, reptiles such as snakes, and in the process of burning the firewood, we all know the problems involved and the risk involved.
A resident, Isa Nasara, said the program was going to be beneficial, especially to workers.
And this thing, the way they will be transporting it, the selling of the gas will be simple. Because if you don't have time, especially with the workers, if there is no time for you to go there for the filling of the cylinder, you just sit down and call them, alert them, and they'll bring it to your doorstep. So it's very nice. We appreciate it.
And that's the marketplace this afternoon. Thanks for watching. Remember to join us at 5 for an exclusive interview with the aviation minister. My colleague Charles Aite will be speaking to him on so many issues, especially during this pandemic. Thanks for watching once again. More news on our website, myjoyonline.com/business.